and welcome back to another episode of Making a Difference in Mental Health. I'm your host, Danielle Young.
I'm your co-host, Wendy Grier.
And we are continuing to have discussions about Mental Health Awareness Month. We have a very special guest today who happens to be our colleague from the Gaithersburg, Maryland office. We have Miss Chelsi Riffe with us, and she is going to talk about her journey in this particular industry with mental health, with therapy, and we're just really excited to have her here.
Yes, I love spotlighting our colleagues. We have excellent colleagues.
Yes.
So, welcome, Chelsi.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, tell us a little bit about what you do at ABH.
I am an offsite therapist, and I work with kids and families. I meet with them at home, I meet with them at school, and I also meet with kids and families through telehealth. And I specialize in parent management training, which is a program to support families with kids who are struggling behaviorally or who are hyperactive, impulsive behaviors, anger and aggression, and that sort of thing. So I support families with those kind of behaviors.
Sounds good.
That's good. It's kind of like what we do, and we are really excited again to have you here. We wanted to know if you could go back to the beginning, what impacted your life, or what was the thing that said, I really want to be a therapist? Can you tell us a little bit about your mental health journey into this particular field?
Yes. So a lot of my life actually led me to this career. I actually struggled a lot behaviorally and emotionally when I was younger, as I'm sure a lot of us probably did. My parents struggled with that too. I had my son at a young age, and I actually dropped out of high school. And I think the statistics at the time for teen parents were not good. I think it was something like less than 5% of teen parents graduate college before 30, if at all. And I remember thinking pretty negatively about the future. So I know I needed help. So I started looking for support groups for teen parents, and I found one. I don't think it's still around because this was almost 20 years ago. But it was there that I met some friends, and one of them is still my best friend to this day. She went to a community college, so I started going to a community college. And at the community college, they helped with childcare. They helped me access different resources for financial aid. And all of that helped me get my associate's degree. And during that time, I met a man named Daryl Davis who shared a story. It was about how he used something really, really difficult and turned it into something really, really good. And this was in one of my elective classes. And so I was I want to learn more about what he's doing. And that led me to the social work field. And then fast forward, I got my graduate degree in 2016. So I was in school, I think, for almost 10 years. It was a long, long process.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congrats on that, because that hasn't been too long ago, 2016.
Right.
It feels like a lifetime.
No.
It really
I know. So yeah, and this was my first job right out of college. So.
Okay. I just am excited to hear more from you. We've not had that topic discussed about teen parenthood and some of the challenges and then some of the triumphs. So I'm really intrigued to, even hear more about your story and more about parent. And I like that you were able to connect and that you sought out and you searched out, knowing and recognizing and having an awareness that, hey, I need a little bit more help and I need to connect with people that are like me, and to find a friend who kind of pushes you along, or you push each other along.
Yes.
Wow, that is really inspiring and encouraging. So I'm hoping that our audience, gets something from this. Definitely.
We haven't touched upon that.
We have not.
Chelsi, thank you for that. That's a great story about your journey into mental health. I do know that most people who go into our field are passionate about something that they've experienced personally in their life. So kudos to you for all the achievements. Very nice, very nice. So let's shift a little bit. So you've been at ABH for how many years now?
So 2017, so 5 years, I think.
Okay. And so what do you think you're most proud of? What the work that you've done so far in this company, what are you most proud of?
So, so much, because we do so much. But I think thing that I'm most proud of, or what I love so much about like being an off-site therapist, is being able to provide services in their environment. So working in their homes with kids and families, working at the schools, and giving them access in their environment. So that's one less thing that they have to worry about, is how am I going to get my child to their appointment, if I have to take off work, and we kind of like eliminate that barrier that can really prevent the access that families need for services. So that's what I love about this job.
Okay, so I'm going to double back. So when we first got you on, you talked about a parenting program that you specialize in here at ABH. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I know you mentioned it's for children who are, air quotes, oppositional or have defiant type behaviors, but love to hear more about it.
Yeah, so I stumbled across this therapy through reading a book about ADHD, which I know everyone's heard that before. We all know what ADHD is. But parent management training really gives parents the tools that they need to be able to like handle behavioral challenges and the temper tantrums that we all know very well as parents. And it gives them the tools that they need to handle these things effortlessly and in a drama-free. The kids know what to expect, the parents know what to expect, and it's in a positive way. It's a structured therapy program, so it is a time commitment, but it's just with the parents, and then the parents use these strategies 7 days a week. So really, you're really training the parent to be the child's therapist 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's great. So, when you get certified, we're going to have you back. I think it's something that, yes, our audience can, and our colleagues actually can definitely relate to, because parenting is everything. I mean, this last 2 years of COVID, that's all we've heard is like, can you get my kid to, log on to the computer? Can you help me do things that, some of us think it's a parent thing to do, not a therapist thing to do. So I think that's a great topic for us to explore, Danielle. So when you're certified, let us know, Chelsi. We'll have you back on for that.
I'm so excited, yes.
And as Wendy has already said, this is a time to just highlight our ABH professionals. But again, I really am intrigued about your story. And I mean, you could actually be a 3-time guest if you're talking about the parenting program, as well as an actual podcast about teen parenthood. Yeah. And, I'm going to kind of veer off a little bit. We've seen teen parenthood kind of sensationalized too with like the MTV show. I don't know if it's MTV or VH1.
It's MTV.
But Teen Mom. And, they're essentially getting paid to have their life on display. And surely there have been some times where we've maybe seen the really hard times, but I can imagine that it's harder than what is produced on these television shows. So, I mean, I really think that that's something that we can explore, a specific show about that, and then incorporate, again, some of the parenting trainings that you have about, so that, our audience members, even some of our colleagues, can learn a little bit more about the program and, honestly, just receive some encouragement from your story, and for those who are like you, and for those who you have met along the way and triumphed, and now you're a therapist and you're giving back, you're serving the community. That's really good, Chelsi.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So again, we're in May, Mental Health Awareness Month, and we want to know, just for our audience and our colleagues, what is something important that you want them to know?
So it's such a hard question, because there's so much I think that we need to get out there when it comes to like mental health. But I think personally for me, it would be just spreading the awareness of mental health and the supports that are out there, and normalizing our need for support. Like, I wouldn't be where I am without the support that I received in all sorts of areas, socially, emotionally, financially. Like, all of those supports really helped me get to where I am today. And I think normalizing that need for support And I kind of put on
Mm-hmm.
here, so shifting as a society from like suffering in silence, whether, and that suffering is different for so many different people, but from suffering in silence to healing through the use of support. I think let's like normalize that, working together to normalize support as not like a weakness, but this is where we get our strength from.
Right.
I mean, the mantra that's been going around is it's okay to not feel okay or be okay. And I think, Danielle and I wanted to really focus in on the importance of mental health awareness this month in May, because it is what we recognize. But also, as you said, this podcast was designed to get out information about mental health and to spread and destigmatize the ideas around mental health, that you're weak and all that. I also think that people are so strong when they figure out, I need help, and these are my people. And your story told that. You recognized as a teen mom that you had ambitions and goals, but you needed help along the way, and you went out and you found help, and that's what this is about in terms of mental health.
And I often say to my clients, I say sometimes it's much more courageous for you to speak out about some of your challenges than it is to have the superwoman or superman complex that I can do it all. We don't know what your kryptonite is, but we want to know before you completely break down. And so, I really love what you said. I actually wrote some notes on what you said about just normalizing the need for support, but not just normalizing the need, not suffering in silence, and healing, healing through support. So I really like that you said that, and I'm hoping that our audience is picking up on that as well. Normalize saying that I need help, and then being okay to no longer suffer in silence. We have a voice. We're here to help the voice come out.
Yeah, I think it's great that you guys are doing this, because I think, for us clinicians, being able to share our story, to kind of like, I think a lot of the kids I work with might think that I just came from a cookie cutter background and went to college and got my graduate degree, and would have no idea that, I struggled too, but I made it through. We can all make it through if we work together. And so I think it's great that you're doing this to be able to share that information and get that out there.
Well, we love hearing stories. We love hearing stories. People have different backgrounds. They have different experiences that bring them through the journey to where they are today. So, thank you so much for being here. And I really just want to shout out your background. I see your Brene Brown book. I also see your DSM-5. So it's
my parent management training. These are all my go-to.
So such a therapist moment,
because we're all like, yes, we have our tools, we have our skills.
So, Chelsi, thank you so much again for joining us. I think we're going to have you back. So just be prepared.
I'm excited.
We have, Danielle and I have so much more to talk about.
Yeah,
so
we really
definitely are coming back.
We really do. Yeah. So we're so glad. Yes, we're so glad to have highlighted you on today. My name is Danielle Young.
I'm Wendy Grier.
And we are making a difference in mental health, always striving to make a difference in mental health. We will see you next time.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.